Watching the silhouette from the candlelight, slipping and sliding a little more to the right. They say all the freaky bitches come out at night. Yeah, I'm the one that's full of fun, guaranteed to make you come. I'ma put it down for sure. Once you enter through the door, drop them drawers like you Denzel. I don't believe in snacks, you could get the whole meal. That's real.
That's why I didn't want to do it, because I get too deep.
All right. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? Welcome to Behind Closed Doors, y'all. It's your girl, Latoya Grove. How y'all doing tonight?
Coming to you live and direct from Plug Studios.
Plug
It's your
Studio
man, Crown Royal.
Hey, Crown.
A.K.A. your baby mama's favorite boyfriend.
Yeah.
A.K.A. what? The yellow
What,
pimp.
what? The yellow pimp.
A.K.A. the one your mother loves and your daddy hates.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. I can see a lot of daddies hating you.
Daddy hate me.
They
But
do.
that's okay.
As long as the mamas love you.
And you know what? What's going on, Toya? What's up, LG?
What's up, y'all? So tonight, y'all, we got some interesting topics tonight, y'all.
Interesting.
Very interesting topics
Are we
tonight,
talking
y'all.
about Wordle?
Wordle? You want to talk? I don't do Wordle. Wordle's your thing. I don't do Wordle.
No, I was trying to figure out, like, it's like, yo, we can't, people just be coming on, so we can't be actually just, like, going
Straight through.
straight into it. So
Yeah, I'm
I just
sharing
be
it
trying to-
anyway. So
yeah, I be trying to figure out, like, what's the type of banter. So I'm like, yo, so what did you,
how
how
about
was your week? I was playing Wordle, and I'm, like, great at it. I started, like, 4 days ago.
and you just
I have never got.
just
I always
mastered
get
it?
I got the word within 4, and if it take you more than 4 times to get Wordle, you're an idiot, and you need to get off.
that's why I'm not an idiot, but I ain't doing Wordle. Wordle is not my thing. I tried it. I was like, I'm done. I
And
don't
you know,
like
I
word
usually don't
problems.
even get into that, that social media craze, but somebody sent it to me, and I wound up doing it. But that's neither here nor there.
Hey everybody. So please, if you are on this live tonight, y'all, make sure you share and like the page, y'all. That's what I'm doing right now. So I'm just basically sharing the page, and yeah.
And we got a lot of actually good, interesting topics. And we decided, and I don't know, for people that may have not tuned in last week, kind of changed the format a little bit. And we kind of like nailed it down to like basically the first half hour we're going to be going over different like current events, different little subjects that's going on in the news and in the world. And then the last half hour would be our speak on it topic where we do
Yes.
a more or less deep dive on this subject. And what is the subject for this evening?
Ensuring your family's financial stability, y'all. It's definitely something you will want to hear and get some information on tonight. I got a special speaker coming on tonight, y'all. She's a financial advisor. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, okay? So don't waste no time. She ain't going to be on too long, but she's going to be on just enough for you to ask a couple of questions and get some answers, y'all, right?
Advisor.
Financial advisor.
Financial stability.
Yes,
Insuring your
insurance. She deals with life insurance and everything like that, y'all. Okay, so
Estate
Yeah.
planning.
yeah.
Wills.
Well, it's up to you to write your will. The person has to write their own wills, but she could definitely talk to you and let you know how to go about it. Okay, so it's something that's definitely has to be had.
Why?
I'm just say this. I have I went through something last week, and personally I lost someone, and it hit me like
You lost someone?
I lost someone last week.
Did you
and
put an APB out to find them?
you know what I mean.
Oh.
Don't
No.
be insensitive. Don't make me curse
No,
you
I'm
out
not
on
trying to
this,
be
on-
insensitive.
on here.
You had someone pass away. You had someone die.
Yes.
I don't, personally, I have an issue when people just, they beat around the bush. You lost someone. Okay, well, let's go put out an APB and find them. No.
Someone's died.
Someone died. And let's be real about it. And it was somebody close to you.
Yeah.
And it devastated you.
It hurt me. Yeah.
And the reason why we came up with this show is because what?
I just feel that people are not really secure in just in their plans on what's going to happen once they die, basically. How's a family going to maintain? How are they going to be able to just be able to cover certain expenses after they're gone? And basically once you're gone, you ain't got to worry about that. But you know who does have to worry about that? Your family does. So when you don't have like no financial means to support yourself after you're gone, it's tough on the family, because we definitely got to try to get finances together. Just to bury you is not cheap. It's not cheap. But we're gonna definitely get back into that, because I don't want to talk about it too much, because
just do be like Kingdom Come. Just bury me in the backyard and say I left your ass.
Shut up, Crown.
That shit was good. All right, so anyway, but we don't want to get into that because that's a serious topic.
Yeah.
And we don't want to deal in the serious topic. And
yeah.
I'm not actually being insensitive. I just try to bring some type of levity to the serious topics, because I actually do have a lot of detailed information on certain things that come into it. We're not actually totally just dealing with health insurance or life insurance. We're dealing with a lot of different things that I think us as black people we don't really take advantage of, and some of it is our fault, and some of it is systematic, and it's set up, and it's been set up for years for us to be behind the eight ball. But we can actually do some things to actually catch up, speed up, and put ourselves in a better position. And I'm pretty sure a lot of our viewers know exactly what I'm talking about when we get to that. But let's start off this week
with fuckery.
This week in bullshit and fuckery.
Bullshit and fuckery, y'all. So, again, please, y'all, if y'all support us, all right, make sure you share the page. Just share it to your page, all right?
Sure at least say
hello to us.
Well,
you can speak.
You say what's up
Damn
to
it.
me. All right, what's the first story?
What you got going on, Crown?
No, we going with your story first.
We going with my story first?
Yeah,
oh, my gosh.
Because my shit is the good shit.
Wow.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Ladies first. All right, so, y'all, I came across an interview with Kiara Sheard. That's Karen Clark from the Clark sisters' daughter. So she was doing an interview, and she basically said her mama told her, because she just got married last year, right?
Sorry to hear that.
Her mom told her, be careful with who you let stay in your home around your husband, okay? So I was like, basically she's telling her, don't have nobody hanging around your husband. So how do you feel about that, Crown? I honestly never really had no issues with that. I ain't really got no friends like that, but my friends don't want my man. My friends don't want my man. So I don't really have no issues with that. But how do you feel about your significant other being around your friends? Huh?
My friends?
Your friends.
My friends ain't shit.
What does that mean?
No, and her mother told her this?
Her mother told her this. And she was basically like, oh, when my friends come over, they can't stay at my house. They got to stay. I'll send them in a hotel.
Okay, so this sounds like a woman of a certain age. Whereas though maybe in the past, she felt as though women was trifling and they was still big about stealing people's men or something like that. Or maybe... All right, let me just say it like this. A lot of times back in the day, women put up with shit from men, and they allowed them to do the shit because they had really no say, because they paid the bills and they didn't really have anything without the man. But for a mother to say something like that is just she just seemed very weak-minded to me, and it just sounds like something out of like the 50s or 60s or something like that.
Right.
But if you're not secure in your relationship, that Your friends can't come
Right.
in your house or stay in your house. And how old is this young lady?
I think she's about her late 20s. About her late 20s, yeah.
Okay, but you said she's whose daughter?
Karen Clark from the Clark
Who's
sisters.
the fuck the Clark sisters?
There's a gospel group.
Oh, so these is Jesus freaks.
Oh gosh, crowd.
I know now.
Yes.
I figured it had to be some Bible thumping shit going on there.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Okay, so we shouldn't even listen to anything she said anyway.
No,
Because she's
but I
not,
just-
she's not of the secular world. She's on
No.
the whole spiritual thing where it's dope. And I never understood that. How is these people supposed to be? They gospel singers and they all in the Bible, but they. What happened to love thy neighbor or having love for everybody?
You just
Except when it comes
thy
to-
neighbor just can't stay in my home
Okay.
with my husband there.
Then why? Where's the love at that we you just automatically and the trust?
There's no trust. Like, if I gotta worry about my man doing something with my friends, like, please, I ain't chasing nobody. Shit, people gonna do what they want to do anyway, honey. Shit, rather you could send them to the hotel and your man could be following right behind, if they wanted to. I'm just saying.
Okay, what would 23-year-old Toya say?
23-year-old Toya.
Mm-hmm. Because you saying this girl's like 20s.
I 23-year-old Toya didn't care then neither. My friend was able to stay in my house, even when my person was there too. Shoot, it didn't bother me. We all had fun, laughed and stuff together. I don't see a issue with it. I don't.
I don't see an issue with either. I
Yeah.
think it's just silliness.
Yeah.
Plain silliness.
Oh gosh.
And I don't even- I mean-
Carol, you got to figure that out, girl. You got to figure that
Yeah, but
out.
maybe she shouldn't have got married. If you got to worry about somebody being around your husband, then what? You need to look at yourself. If you
It ain't
gotta-
her. It was her mom. But she was like,
we
"Oh,
already had a show about that. Sometimes you got to once you move on and get your own family, and sometimes you need to not be taking advice of outside forces,
yeah,
because now that's your family, that's your external family, and what happened, nobody can control what goes on in your house other than
Yeah.
you. So even if it is your mother or your father, mama, your daddy, that nigga in the alley, none of them can say anything.
none.
No.
It's true. All right, now.
Let's
Well, what
move
you
along.
got? What you got, Crown?
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
I found this story interesting on many different levels. Nick Cannon is now.
On his 10th child.
Nah, it's on. Don't do that. He's on his
And counting.
His 8th child about to be born. Or he made an announcement, and I was actually sad because I just found this out today that he lost a child that had a brain tumor. It was only 5 months old. And I do not wish that on anyone.
No.
But some people were making kind of like, not jokes about that, but jokes are making fun of the fact that like this would be like his 5th child in like the last 2 years. And I wanted to defend Nick Cannon because this came up like last year when we weren't on the air, but I was having a conversation, I believe, with my sister, and it was just like, wow, he got a lot of different baby mamas. He got kids coming all around the same time. But I said, you know what? What I noticed, nobody is beefing.
No.
None of the women are calling him out saying anything. None of the women are being cat and disrespectful
They must got
to
some
the
type
other
of
moms.
understanding.
This is what I'm saying. At a certain point, when is it not anybody's business? He got money. It seems like it could be publicity or whatever, but when you see, and he's around his kids all the time, it seems, and I'm pretty sure they taken care of. It's plenty of daggone people out there that got a whole bunch of kids that by different women, and they ain't taking about care of them. Those are the ones we need to be talking about and be upset about. And then I thought about it on this level, smaller level, totally. 5 kids in like 2 years. It ain't like he having them, but you know what I mean. But I thought about it like when I was married, my sons. I got 3 sons in 3.5 years, and I ain't got no. And that was just with one woman, and I ain't even got a whole bunch of money. But so it's just like 5 kids in 2 years with a couple different women. And one set was twins.
With twins, yep.
So, yeah, but as long as you taking care of them and everybody happy, and you ain't nobody lying, because this is the whole thing about what we did a show before about open relationships or being polyamorous and things like that. Who knows? He might be just gonna go move to Utah and just have a nice little fortress and have a whole
Everybody lives together.
Have a bunch of situations. You know Eddie Murphy. That's what Eddie Murphy did. Eddie
All
Murphy.
his kids live with him.
All his grown kids to little kids. He got all his kids. I'm living with him.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you got the money, I'm saying this about anybody. If you had, I never say anything about people and about the amount of kids that they have, if they taking care of them and they have.
Right.
A football player. Well, he retired. Phillip Rivers. He got 8 kids.
Okay.
Him and his wife have 8 kids.
He taking care of them.
They all just living in harmony and everything else.
Right.
But nobody says anything about that. That because he was in, because he's married and that's his wife. But he taking care. As long as he taking care of these kids and these women are being taken care of, I don't have any trouble. What's she talking about?
Hey, Stephanie.
They sisters' wives. They in this shit together. And if they are, that's their agreement. That's what they allow. Maybe he got
all happy.
Maybe he got a little cult going on. I don't know.
You think he just got something going on?
I don't know what it is. It got to be the dag. I don't think he that funny and that talented. But I mean, maybe he got a large penis. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Cause I mean, I don't know.
He got the cannon. He got the cannon.
I don't know what it is. I don't know, because he seems like kind of corny to me. But that's a whole other story. But that ain't for me to say, But
Nick, good luck to you with all your kids and counting.
And
I don't think he's done.
My deepest condolences on the loss.
Yeah.
I found it because in the spirit of Nick Cannon, I looked this up because it's always been like a little myth or a little stuff throughout, and you probably never heard this, that basically one man has the capacity to actually fertilize the whole planet. This was an old thing.
I heard of that.
You heard of it before?
Yes, I have.
So I looked it up and looked it up. Now they said basically these are the scientific numbers to date and current date and the way that a woman, because gestation period and a woman that would live their entire life to be like 81, their lifespan of 81 years. It's possible for them to have up to, according to how fast they get their menstrual cycle and everything like that, 15 to 30 children.
Okay.
In their lifetime.
Okay.
It's a possibility. How many do you think a man is the ability to have in their lifespan of 76 years?
Of 76 years?
76 years when they can, now, being very scientifically, man ejaculate millions of sperm, and they can ejaculate more than one time a day or whatever. How many kids could a man father in their lifespan?
Over 1,000.
Damn. No, the scientists, wow. Damn.
It could happen. Shit, you go to one.
Well, I guess if you actually just put something and you actually
you can give it out.
But I'm saying the normal
But
way.
the normal, okay. So I'm gonna say.
I'm not talking about.
All right. Realistically. All right. 80.
Close.
It's close.
Not even.
65.
Not even close. 200.
200.
And the normal lifespan of a male they could actually father 200 children.
Wow.
I was felt that to be like mind blowing.
Wow.
And I was just like, is that what Nick is actually shooting for?
Right?
I don't know.
He might. Who knows? And you said women could have up to how many children?
Based on, because, 10-month of it,
Mm-hmm.
and anywhere from 15 to 30 recovery
Wow.
time and this, that, and other. Yeah, it's like they said 15 to 30 children a woman could actually have in their lifetime, possibly.
Wow, ladies.
No. Some people say after one, they ain't doing it no more.
Right. One and done. Sheesh.
Okay, but that's
Well,
it.
What
The
else
le-
you have?
Well, actually, the next one is actually a serious topic.
Okay.
But this
let's
is
hear
the
it.
whole buffoonery, the bullshit, and the fuckery.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be no surprise to anyone that just knows politics
Mm-hmm.
or just knows, I don't know, this country. We're going to Florida because Florida is basically the fuckery of the country. All the fuckery and bullshit usually comes from Florida or Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, the bullshit is going to go with basically the Florida Senate committee approved a bill to make it illegal for school and workplace lessons, framing it to make white people feel discomfort. It's the hurt your feelings white people bill.
What?
Basically, that's what it is.
Elaborate.
Okay, so Florida Governor Ron DeSantis actually has backed this bill because he actually has a bill that's being pushed throughout. This is the Stop Woke Act.
What the hell is that?
The Stop Woke, because as usual, white folks hijack terms that black people use because woke. You know what the term woke means and what they use it for now.
What, say it.
Well,
what?
I mean, we coined it by basically saying as a black person,
Mm-hmm.
we were sleeping and we woke up and figured out how the system is gained against us. How basically things are we are put in positions to fail, and we need to wake up and see these things so we can counteract it.
Right.
So then it was hijacked by majority, liberal white people, and it's whereas though they felt as though they were woke to what's going on in the world and the travesties that happen to minorities and things of that nature. And now it's just a culture war going on, and they everything is being woke, like, oh, right, the woke mob is coming after you, cancel culture and these things, that, and other. So they put in a bill. They're trying to get it passed, and it probably will because it's majority, Republican majority in Florida,
Right.
to make sure that they don't get their feelings. You can't teach reality because you don't want white people to be upset.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
Let me I'm gonna read the actual.
So are you talking about? Are you
this
trying
is
to say
a law.
you
This is gonna
can't
be a law.
talk history?
Let me explain it to you. An individual, by virtue of his or her race or sex, does not bear responsibility or actions committed in the past by other members of the same race or sex. That is what the bill states. An individual should not be made to feel uncomfortable, guilt, anguish, or any other psychological distress on account of his or her race.
So they trying to erase history.
Well,
They don't want you talking about it.
they don't want you talking about it in the workplace or in be teach it.
They don't do it in schools anyway. They don't teach it in schools.
They don't do it. But
Anyway.
this is a counteract, and this is what the fact is. This is all about critical race theory, CRT. What critical race theory is it's not taught K through 12. It's not taught in school. This is a college course that actually examines the actual detrimental things that's happened in society in the history and how it affects minorities, but specifically black people. And these white folks don't want to hear about it. They don't want to teach reality. Now, this is Black History Month. So, basically, and it's already been happening, it's always happened in Texas. And because no one, what people don't actually fail to realize is a lot of the books that are printed and sent in the schools, they're made in Texas. So when you start talking about banning books and start erasing things, in a lot of cases, they make it seem like the Civil War was fought over states' rights. It wasn't fought over the fact of slavery.
Right.
The actual bondage and the actual economics of free labor. Yeah, it was the states' rights to actually still have slavery. That was what it was about, but that's not actually taught. They're trying to literally whitewash
out. Right.
everything.
Right.
And to the point where as though you actually have to put in a law to protect these people's feelings. Let me explain something to you. People, if you want to have a real discussion, it is going to be uncomfortable.
Right.
But what people don't understand, we're not attacking you. We're attacking the society as a whole.
Right.
Even you may have not done all these things, but guess what? You should learn about the history, the real facts, instead of making it seem like, oh, if it's uncomfortable, I want to talk about it.
They want to make it seem like it never happened.
But in general, those is conversations you
Right.
need to have. But they literally making it a law that these things can't even be facts, are not allowed to be discussed.
Right.
And it's just sad. It's just totally sad. And I don't, it's just a laughing stock. And once again, it's just, Florida. And that's what we just expect. And
What happened with the black people? Real shit. What happened with the Indians? Real shit.
Indians,
Yeah, the Indians.
Native Americans.
You know what I mean?
No, I didn't. 'Cause
You just said it.
Indians
Native
from India.
Americans,
See, you
the
just
Jews.
No.
It's real shit. But y'all want to erase all of that? Why? Because you don't want to hear about it? You want to face the fact? Y'all part of the problem? Not all of you Caucasians, but a lot of you are. Okay?
If you're not part of the solution, it's to have a conversation. You just. Yeah, they actually do. Stephen, these people make a conscious decision just to stay in the dark.
To stay in the dark.
Yeah, because they don't want to know
Right.
anything. And shit.
That's why us as people, we still have to teach our children and let them know what the real deal is. All right?
Yeah, well, you can, but if you can't find it in any books, then it's the issue.
That's the thing. These days, there's a lot of African Americans writing books and stuff. So you can't completely
Well, that's a whole nother story. I don't
wipe it away.
that African American term, and we'll discuss that at a later show.
Black people.
Yeah, we'll get on that. I don't know.
Right.
Okay, so now we need to move on to the other half of what we're talking about.
Yes, ensuring your family's financial stability, y'all. So I always wanted us to do a show like this because I did. So I felt like it is so important for us as Black people specifically to how can I say this? Just to make sure that your future and your kids' future is set as well as possible. Okay, y'all? So we have to start creating some generational wealth in some form of way, okay? Like since COVID, I'm gonna say the code, because I don't want them to cut my video off. Since the code, I feel like a lot of people just need to wake up and pay attention to what's going on around them, people, even if it wasn't the code, people is dying out here, dying every day with no financial stability. They just dying and leaving it all on their family to cover all the charges, and it is hard out here. So I just wanted to talk and just let you know how important it is for you guys to get some type of insurance for your life. We're not going to necessarily just talk about life insurance in general, but it's something that's really important.
Let's talk about.
For you to have.
Let me jump into. Let's talk about.
Just gonna cut me off. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you were droning. Let's talk about because you talking about the end of life stuff. Let's talk about stuff that could be done
before
right
that, right now as well.
Okay.
What type of savings? You need some type of a savings plan as well. But why? That's not happening? It's a lot of different reasons why someone is not able to have a savings plan and save for the future.
I'm gonna do it.
You gonna do it?
I'm about to hit. Okay?
Hit it, Crown. Go ahead.
Okay, for instance, the median retirement income as of on the U.S. News World Report of December 2020 states that whites' median retirement income is over $23,000 a year. Blacks and Latinos are under $16,000. That's the difference of almost $7,000. Why? Because we already know throughout the years when you coming out to retirement, blacks and Latinos work in different fields, whereas though even if you do work in the same field as whites, we were getting lower incomes. So when it comes to our retirement with Social Security and our contributions, because we made less money throughout those times, then we were going to have less money coming in at the end. Also, when you talk about savings accounts, a lot of times people of color do not have jobs that offer savings accounts through their job, and if they do, they don't go for it. They don't go for the 401k. They don't go for the IRA. They don't actually go for the 6%, taking 6% of your pay and having the job contribute the other 6% so it can put it to your future. And the 44% of black people that do offer this, that do opt this, they generally have a savings account of only $20,000. Whereas the 65% of white people that do this actually have a savings account over $50,000. These are a lot of things that we could do as we matriculate in age, not to worry, counting on to when we turn 62 and 63 and 65 and actually get to those things. The biggest thing is, it's so crazy because I have a mother that's close to retirement age. You have a mother that's
right.
That's at retirement age. 30% of minorities rely on Social Security for over 90% of their income.
Right, it's true.
90% or more.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas though counteracted to that, only 28% of white people count on Social Security as 90% of their income after they retire.
Right.
This is a lack of generational wealth and estate planning. You have to.
Go ahead, keep going.
But these are, and then we talking about one of the biggest other factors is black ownership. Black ownership is down since in 2019. Black ownership was at like 40%. Mm-hmm. It was the lowest ever since the Fair Housing Act was passed in 1968. At this point right now, only 44% of black people have home ownership. Comparative, whereas those 74% of white Americans in this country have ownership. That is generational wealth. Mm-hmm. That is something that you can pass down, and it's always be told, in order for you first to actually get some type of equity, to actually make any type of money into passing that, you have to have the American dream is to have the white picket fence, right, and to have home ownership.
Yeah.
With us as a group only having 44% of it, that we are behind the eight ball.
Behind,
These
yeah.
these are the things that you could do working towards your lifetime, separate from life insurance, because that is a big component. But it's a lot of things where as though financially you have to try to actually try to come to a point of emphasis to say put a little something. You know how your mom, well, or your grandma would
Right.
say, let's put something away for
For
a
a rainy day. Mm-hmm.
And granted, we a lot of times we work in jobs, or we working from paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
and or we have to work extra jobs.
Yep.
But when you are in a position to put 5, 10, or something away, or something is where as though you have a job where as though they offer you a 401k, so where as though it's taken directly out of your pay and you don't see it. I'm gonna be honest. I have couple my son who's 19 about to be 20. He has a job right now, and my older son same way. My son's 19. He opted in, and I talked to him about it. He opted in to his company's savings plan,
Okay.
his 401k at 19, because and he asked me why am I doing this? What is
Right.
this reason for? And I said this is something they're offering to match this type of money. This will help your future, because you can't ultimately just try to think that you can live and survive on Social Security moving forward, especially at the current people that are on Social Security right now. The numbers show that only 23,000 dollars, $16,000 a year for Black people, $13,000 a year is the median income for people that's on Social Security right now.
Right.
These are poverty levels.
Yeah.
So
It's really difficult to save right now. It's like trying to work a regular 9 to 5 right now.
but
Like,
this is the thing. This is how the wage gap has basically, the wage and the wealth gap is hurt. It's the terms that we always use. If white people get a cough, we get the flu. Because if America is going through a depression, it hits people that's on the lower rung harder. So you got to work hard, and you got to be more cost effective and thoughtful, and try to figure out how to make things work. And I get that, but but when you do have a good job, and you do have the opportunity to save, or you do have an opportunity where as though you can purchase a home, you need to actually think about that and look at that. And if you can't do it, if you at a certain point in your age and you can't do it, or but you need to actually teach your
Right.
children or people that are in that position. Listen, this is where I went wrong.
right.
But listen, if you have a good, I told my son when he got this job with this fund at this, I said the first thing I said, I went over his health insurance, his dental, his savings account, and his life insurance.
Right.
I'm 23.
Right.
Why
Why do I
paying
need this?
attention to
Right.
this?
You need to. It's the
The biggest thing, and it's
Yeah.
not. Is she there?
yeah, boy. She's gonna come on.
No,
Yeah.
because the biggest thing, what a lot of people don't realize when it comes to life insurance, it's best for you to get that rate when you are
you're
in your
younger,
20s,
right.
and you are healthy. Majority of the time, people don't think about health insurance until they're in their 30s, till they get married, till they have
Right.
kids, and maybe they don't even think about it then, or till maybe close to their 40s. But actually, if you get in early,
Right.
you can actually, and I'm not totally sure about this because I'm not the professional, but you can secure that rate, get a good rate for some good coverage when you're young, when you're healthy,
Okay.
and it's not going to cost you as much when you get older. But these
Well-
things are important.
Well, you could ask Nasha that question. We
Who's
had
that?
Nasha is a financial
Come on, you
advisor,
just
my
tell us
financial
it.
advisor.
Yeah.
So I brought her on today to explain to us the importance of gaining generational wealth. basically. So, hello, Nasha.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we could hear you. Welcome to Behind Closed. Thank you so much for calling in and speaking to us today.
Great, thank you for having me.
No problem. So, what was the question you just said, Dion? Crown.
Okay. First of all, can
Can you explain to the
who you
audience
are? Oh,
who
she
you
is.
are and what you do,
Yes.
please, Nasha? Thank you.
Sure, sure. So, as they said, my name is Nasha, and I actually like to call myself a financial coach. I've been in this industry for about 12 years now. I made a transition from a previous career in food service where, pretty much just understanding that there was such a strong need for people to be able to gain some better knowledge and education in the financial realm to be able to set themselves up for better futures, especially in our communities. So I made that transition because I myself was struggling financially, not knowing what to do, who to turn to, where to start to get myself ahead. And I've been teaching people and implementing strategies for them, and helping them get on track to building, financial independence, pretty much for the last 12 years.
Great. That's amazing. So, real quick, Nasha's actually been helping myself out as well because I'm not gonna say I'm late in the game. I don't want to say I'm late, but I myself did not learn about finances and stuff. My parents didn't teach me about that stuff. So as I'm getting older, I realized the importance of life insurance or generational wealth and just a savings plan. Can you explain to the audience the importance of having a savings plan, or just
So this is really a great conversation. I got a little bit of it, a few minutes into before I came on, but one of the things that a lot of people tend to pretty much neglect is the importance. And the challenge is for most people is that we kind of have an idea that we need to be doing something differently and doing something better. But again, it's where do we start?
right?
So it's really important first for people to identify what they need.
Mm-hmm.
See, it is not a cookie cutter situation. So it's not one of those type of situations where you could say, "Oh, my friend is doing this," or "My mom said she did this, so I should do this." No, one of the things we've identified is the key is first figuring out what a person needs because your goals are different from mine.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for you to actually have a strategy that works in your favor, you first need to identify what you need.
Right.
It is very important, and having a plan, first of all, is the key.
Right.
Seeing where you are, figuring out what steps you need to take to get there, and then implementing those strategies to reach there. Because here's the thing, life is just passing us by. And one of the things people don't realize is that the value of time when it comes to growing your wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And so the sooner you get, so I was very excited to hear, you guys talking about the young people that you're influencing to
Mm-hmm.
be, engaged in saving and investing at this time, having life insurance at an early age. All those things are important because the sooner you start, the definitely the more beneficial it's going to be. And that sounds very cliche and very, common that everybody has known, but it is actually a fact when we look at the numbers because numbers don't lie. So after studying what it is that it takes, see, a lot of people underestimate what they're going to need for their future. They underestimate how much it's going to cost for their family to continue on without them. They underestimate, what's going to be available, or they over expect what's going to be available. So for an example, you mentioned Social Security. See, there is no security there
Right.
right now,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yes.
Right? It's
I want to
social
jump right in. If
insecurity
I
at
don't
this
want to cut
point.
you off, but I want to jump right in because one of the things that I wanted to wanted to touch on, especially being mostly being in the black community, the median retirement savings between, as you were saying, starting as a young between 25 and 61, whites have 79,500. Asian Americans have over $67,000 in the retirement savings between 25 and 61. Black people have $29,000 in savings in that same time spirit period, and the Latinos have 23,000. So we are almost 3 times behind
Yep.
white, and because in some cases, because not getting fair pay, or and being in certain, like you say, lower income food service jobs or service industry, whereas though we can't save because we don't make the, or you would basically, just like for instance, the minimum wage still, the national minimum wage still being at 7.25, and it's not grown in over 20 something years, whereas though it's just ridiculous, and whereas though inflation has been going up and up, and people have been actually making more money, and it's not been trickling down. But also, the biggest thing where you talking about, what was I looking at?
Social Security.
Social Security, right? Us actually relying on that to be our main income, and to be honest, a lot of times when people that have good jobs working for the state, or good jobs that have pensions, they don't really rely on, because they have other income. But a lot of times people that look like us, that is their only income, their only check, that third of the month they have to live off of, that 11, 12, maybe 13, 14 or 7, and I know that I have a mother who's just 60 something, because she might kill me if I said her actual age. But she's looking close to retirement, and she looks at the numbers every year and say, you know what? Nope, I can't do it right now. But on the flip side of that, I wanted to ask you this, because my mother at a later age, and probably too late for her doing, got smarter, and she'll probably say this to herself. She started investing in stock. She started getting mutual funds. And I'm talking about, this lady started doing this after 55. So I'm only saying it because I don't think it's probably never really too late to start, if I'm right. But
You're absolutely right. I mean, the bottom line is this: the sooner you start, the better it's going to be, because especially when you're talking about investing, and I obviously I won't be touching on anything specific, but in the grand scheme of things, time again is your friend. So any time you decide to start is the right time, because starting is the key.
Right.
So for people that are younger, we have a stronger advantage, obviously, because the longer you can stay in the market, the more benefits you'll see over time. And people that are a little bit older, unfortunately, they have to take a more conservative approach, because they're so much closer to needing, their investments and their savings for their retirement. So that's where the disadvantage comes in. It still is a benefit, though, because having it is better than not. Participating is better than standing aside. And so, again, that's where the education, when you talk about a lot of folks in our community, Black community, the ratios are staggering, because of the fact that most people had for a very long time, we always looked at investing as something that wealthy people did, right? It was almost like, it wasn't common conversation to start talking about, participating in the market. It was not something that anybody could do for a long time. I mean, I've been working for 10 years before I understood what I've been doing with the extra money that I was earning in my income. It was never, and I have 2 degrees. Right. And I never understood the value of investing early.
And sometimes, isn't that because we do what we taught, we see what we see. So
exactly.
if you come from a working class situation, you get up, you go to work, you pay your bills, you do right, you go to school, you do right, you be a good citizen. But on that point, I was looking up the numbers. When we do invest, when people of color do invest, we invest in things that are like real stable, but don't give us a real big return. It's something where as though we're very conservative when we invest. whereas though it's basically steady and like it's going to run the race, and it's just going to be, we're going to invest in DuPont, we're going to invest in General Electric, we're going to try to get in on like some little small piece of Amazon stock. We're not something that's going to pay. I mean, I'm talking about before the pandemic. These dependable things. I was just mesmerized on how the fact that when we do invest in stock market and things like that, we don't as people, we don't actually take a chance invest in something new.
Right, and again, that definitely just it emphasizes the lack of education. That's the point. People fear what they don't know. They shy away from what they don't understand. And when it comes to participating in the market and understanding how investment works and figuring out things such as dollar cost averaging, some people never even heard of that. They don't even understand that strategy. They've never been taught that they can take their little bits and actually participate systematically over time and take advantage of the ups and the downs that's going on in the market. No one explained that to them. Most people have no concept of how interest rates actually work. They don't even. Let me ask you a question. Has anyone ever taught you the rule of 72?
No.
Exactly. Right? This is, and without me going into details, that's one of the core rules of the money game that 90% of people I talk to, maybe 95% of people I speak with have never been exposed, have never been taught to understand the impact of compound interest on the growth of their money. And when you don't understand those things, it hurts you because you're not able to take advantage of what's available when you don't know that it is.
Nasha, let me ask you this right quick.
Sure.
If you, because, like I said, a lot of us do work at jobs that offer these savings plans. How important is it for us to take advantage, even if we're putting, let's say, 3%? And especially when we say a lot of times, jobs actually contribute, match you 100% up to 6% or something to like that.
Right. And it's different for different companies,
Right,
of course,
right.
but I always encourage, my clients, if you do have an opportunity to participate, whether it's a 401k, a 403b, 457, whatever it is that's being offered, a TSP, a deferred comp, however you want to refer to it, whatever that is, especially if your company is matching, especially, you need to take full advantage of that because that's free money that you're able to collect.
Yeah.
Right.
That is then allowed to work on your behalf. Money goes in,
Right.
it's tax deferred, right? It's growing, the interest is gaining interest, and you don't have to worry about paying taxes right away. So it continues to grow.
Okay,
Now, should
we
that
have
be
a
your
question.
only method?
Nasha, we
No.
just had a question. One of our viewers just asked. She just
said,
started.
I just-
She just started a job and she had to do something about a 401k. I had no idea how much I should take out. They matched 3%. I just did 3%. Well, that's smart. She said she didn't know anything, but it's because they matched her 100%
Yes.
up to 3%. That's how much she was having deducted.
And that's a great start. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to give advice.
Right? No.
Specifically,
But I'm just saying.
But that is definitely always, like I just said, that's a very good start in terms of your overall retirement strategy. So for someone who has a job that matches, absolutely take advantage of what they're matching you up till. Whatever percentage they're matching, you should definitely take advantage of that. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What? You wanted to say something to him?
No.
Okay.
I really don't have any more questions.
Okay, but I did
Do
have
you
a
want to
question.
talk about life insurance?
That's exactly what I was just about to go to, because this was actually full disclosure, and maybe you didn't hear. This actual show came from the fact that Toya had lost somebody, and they were in a position where as though they didn't have life insurance, and now the family had to scramble to actually
Okay.
put things together. But this is something no, but this is something that happens in our community often.
Right.
And I was looking at the numbers, and I found that because of the events of the last 2 years, black people have now over 56% of black people now have life insurance
Right.
because, which is a positive because of what's
Since
happened
the pandemic?
because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And but how important is something like this, especially getting in when you are younger?
Right. Because I see a lot of people my age and people I went to school with who have children, and I'm sure they don't have life insurance.
Most people
And
think about it in their 30s when they have kids and when they get married.
they
and
don't
things
make
like that.
it a priority of a number one priority to have. They feel like sometimes that's something they could hold off, but you can't hold off death. When death come knocking on your door, you just never know when that's gonna happen.
Oh, why
You-
I'm holding it off for another 50, 60, 70,000 years.
Okay.
I plan on that.
Good
I
luck.
put that on my.
Well, good luck with that.
But no,
they
seriously.
they just think other things are more important than to have life insurance. Some people will prefer to buy shoes, or they buy shoes every month, or they go buy, I'm gonna say, their tobacco or something like that. They prefer to buy that stuff, and they make that more a priority
But
than to purchase the insurance.
I don't understand this. I think this is a generational thing because the way when I grew up, and I mean, my grandparents,
My
and
grandma
mom,
had
they
like
always
3
had-
life insurance policies.
No, but I'm saying we had the actually sitting room that we couldn't even sit on, and it was only for the insurance man. And I mean that's the whole point. Like I
Right.
think it's
Yeah.
something that has been that's something that has not been passed down.
Right.
People, I mean, our parents and our grandparents, they had that, but I think with my generation and my kids, I think we dropped the ball in that. But you can tell more on that if not, because I think in the past it was something that was looked upon and it was important, but now it's not
Just
in not in some ways.
It's a little bit of both. It's really a very, very crazy thing because in my experience I've seen it both ways. I've seen where people grew up with no knowledge of having exposure to life insurance at all. And then others, their reason for not having it is because their parents already have it for them, or they've always known their grandmother, just like you just said, to always have had it. So what it comes down to is it's not just simply about having life insurance just to have it. That's not the point. So I think for most people, they've yet to understand the value it can bring to the ones that they love.
Right.
It's not about them.
Right.
And a lot of times the reason they choose not to do it is because it's an inconvenience. Unfortunately. Going through the process is an inconvenience. Paying for it is an inconvenience. It's not a priority because it doesn't seem like an immediate need. Unfortunately. So it's one of those things that it cannot be too late to get it.
Right.
We don't have that luxury. So one of the questions I ask people, you've got to think about it this way. You work very hard right now, hopefully to provide for your family, to take care of the ones that you care about that depend on you. It's important to you to provide for them while you're alive, while you're here with them. Why would you want that to change just because you physically don't have the ability to provide anymore?
Right.
Wouldn't you still want their lifestyle to at least be the same or better?
Right.
If God forbid you weren't here? Why wouldn't that be a priority enough? Knowing the way that the world is going and how crazy things are going, why wouldn't it be something that you think about? Why wouldn't you want to think about, hey, listen, okay, I may not have $1 million saved up in an investment or in an account, or that's going to be passed on to me by my grandmother today, but what if I could do that for my children?
Right.
What if I could put them in a position where they can start a new trend in our family, where they can be the ones passing it on down the line because I set them up that way? What would be so wrong about that?
Or on
So for a lot of people, they don't see it that way. But more importantly, again, it really is just understanding. See, we think that it won't be as important until it happens. And the very first thing that people run to is when somebody dies is setting up a GoFundMe or reaching out to everybody and their mother to try to gain some resources
Right.
to be able to handle the final expenses. But then what happens after that?
Right.
What if there are kids that need to be fed? What if what happens to them? The
Mm-hmm.
money that you collected is enough to take care of a burial, but then what?
Right, and that's why I said, and I was about to emphasize, on the minimum, you should try to get some separate from the burial. We need to be talking about maybe paying off what's left on the mortgage of the house, or paying off your children's student loans, or something, or actually having so whereas though they have some money set aside, so whereas though if they're at a certain age, it's in a trust, so they can have money for their education to move forward if you're not around. I mean, the burial,
Absolutely.
the burial is something totally separate,
Right.
and it's a small portion. I mean, it's money, but it's a small portion. But we need to be actually looking and say, if I'm going tomorrow, is Sally going to be able to go to higher education if possible?
Right.
Okay, I owe X amount of dollars on this house right now. If I'm going tomorrow, this house is paid, so Sally still has a place
Up
to
to
live.
save. Right.
These are all important things,
Yeah.
I think. And if you're not in that position, like you said, which I totally agree with, you can put these people in a position so they can succeed, and actually give them the education to say, this is where I went wrong, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Do it better. You, at 22, at 21, 24, you can do better, because you can put yourself in a better position. So when you are 45 or 50, you're not scrambling. But at this, we need to
Yeah.
Is
So,
it a number?
real-
Does she
real
want to get some
quick,
type of advertisement or something?
Real quick, Nasha, what are some tips you could give our viewers to better their future, to plan a better future?
In general,
In
in
general.
general,
Yeah, in general.
you know, what I always say is take control.
Mm-hmm.
I think just making the decision that you want to do better financially, and seeking some help, because just like, you know, if you were attempting to change your health, or go on a strict weight loss plan and everything else in life that you want to enhance in, you seek help. So I recommend, that's why one of the things that I enjoy about what I do is being able to just have conversations
Mm-hmm.
and help people identify where they need to improve. What do they need?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, your situation is different from the next person's.
Right.
So I say first, just decide to take control, seek some help, get a plan
I see what you're saying,
of
baby.
what
Connie.
Mm-hmm.
what needs to happen, and then follow the strategy
Right.
that's laid out to be
Right.
able to help you. But paying yourself first is critical. Making sure you have the right income protection through life insurance is absolutely critical. Those two things, I mean, if people can protect themselves if they die too soon, and also if they live too long,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to put themselves in a really great
Better
position.
position. Right.
Okay,
Well,
wait a minute, is it any way, I mean, if you can't, did you want to give out any information, because a couple people are asking that
They're
they need help.
interested in
so
some
maybe
help.
they can get an email you or something like that, and maybe I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
That's
I mean,
not a
you,
problem. I mean, Toya, you can share my information. I mean,
Okay,
do you
that's
want to do it on
fine.
air, or do you want to just
you
send
can
it
do it
If
on
you
air.
wanna do it on air, that's
It's up
fine.
to you. But we can pass it along also. But you can put it on air, so because this is recording, so maybe if somebody actually go back and look at
Look
it
at the video, they'll
after
get the
the fact,
information.
they can get in touch with you also.
Okay, that's not a problem. And just so you know, I do offer free consultations. So if anybody does want to talk to me specifically about their financial situation, I'm happy to answer any questions and help them out with that. For
Okay.
sure. I can be reached directly by phone. You can call me directly, 267-738-0520. And you could just email me to my general Gmail email, which is my name, Nasha Rivera at gmail.com. So it's NASHARIVERA at gmail.com.
Thanks, Nasha, so much for giving us your advice, because we have a lot of people who is definitely interested in receiving some help. So we're gonna make sure they get to you and just get your life together. So I'm really seeing that people, they trying to do better. So that's
right.
a great
And if you
thing.
know better, you should be doing better, right?
Right? If you knew better, you do better.
But knowing is the key.
Definitely.
Well, thank you very much for your insight and actually pulling the interest level and the smartness level up on the show for the day, because usually I'm a clown, so I had to be serious today. So I
No, you did a great
appreciate that.
job too. I was very impressed with the information that you were providing. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for having me, and I look forward to maybe doing some future segments with you guys.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nasha. Have a great night.
All right. Have a great night.
All right.
Bye.
We got a daggone
Oh, wow.
a plant. We got a financial segment person now.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Look at us. It only took like a second, third, or 14th season. I don't know what the fuck we are on.
Whatever, Crown.
But if you didn't get that information,
Just
you can-
contact me.
No. Oh well, I'm just okay. Well, I was saying you could just
You could record. You could go rewind if you want to, or I could put it I could put it in the description, y'all.
Yeah,
I could
okay.
put all the information down below. All right, y'all, and just leave all of Nasha's information. I'll leave it up for y'all. All right.
Wow, that was not behind closed door.
What? It wasn't, was it?
No, it wasn't.
You know, we gotta switch it up on them sometime.
Actually do something that's trying to help the community
Yeah.
and the people.
Yeah.
Not just talk about who fucking who and if they
Oh
doing it
man,
right.
Crown.
But I'm just saying.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight on Behind Closed Doors. We will see y'all next time. Be safe, y'all, and have a great night. And please share, because it's some information that people need to hear. All right?
Yeah, we got some deep shit.
Thank y'all so much. Good night. Bye, guys.
Watching the silhouette from the candlelight, slipping and sliding a little more to the right. They say all the freaky bitches come out at night. Yeah, I'm the one that's full of fun, guaranteed to make you come. I'ma put it down for sure. Once you enter through the door, drop them drawers like you Denzel. I don't believe in snacks. You can